I know the dad was an inventor, and he invented this weird box thing, that like shaving cream and stuff like that, and he's like, he's at he's at the science fair and stuff like that, and people had these robots and stuff like that. And he had this crappy little thing, and it sucked, and it was like terrible. Like people had like awesome robots and shit. Um, and then he goes to this. So he goes to this like ancient Chinese shop, which this cartoon is based in China. So it makes sense that he would Gizmo would end up in China and then end up in some Chinese shop in America. Um, and he basically steals Gizmo. I think, right? He basically kidnapped. Does he buy
he
him?
bought it. Yeah,
He
because
bought him?
that's how you get the explanation of don't feed him after midnight, don't let him get wet.
Okay,
Is when he's buying it.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I could. I can't remember it because it's been a while since I've seen this one. 'Cause I remember him kind of not wanting him to take it, but maybe he's just like, okay, I'll let you have it. But yeah,
Is there standard white guy knows more than the foreigner? You know, no,
right.
here's my money. I'm buying this. Give it to me. It's mine now.
Um, but I do remember he does end up getting Gizmo wet. He brings him to his child. He ends up getting him wet. He brings the Gizmo and the egg to the science teacher. The science teacher.
Hold on one second, real quick.
Okay.
Because this is my favorite trope from back in the day is
Okay.
high school science teachers are like the most intelligent people on the
Right.
planet.
Yeah.
Like
That's
you can you can bring them this strange little gremlin and go, I don't know how this happened. Help me. And they know exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
And they can figure it out. And they've got the equivalent of NASA science equipment
right.
in
It's
their
like
freaking classroom. That's one of my favorite dumb tropes from back in the day.
it's like how many what kind of experiments as a high school science teacher really running?
In backwater USA. Yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I don't think
Sorry,
my
go ahead.
science. I remember my like middle school science teacher. First of all, he was a dick, and he was the gym teacher as well. Uh, and he didn't have any freaking tubes or anything in the class. I think he just had a chalkboard, and that's about it. So he didn't have any lab coats. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
I remember being yelled at to not eat in the science lab, and that was about all I remember from middle school science class.
and then, yeah, you know what we didn't put up here is ET, by the way. Speaking of science teachers,
Yeah.
because that reminds me, like, I never dissected anything in science.
Oh, I did. I did a pig fetus in high school, and a
I
frog,
never,
and a
I never
worm.
did. But yeah, so an egg hatched. I think it was Stripe, the Gremlin Stripe, that the one that science teacher had. I remember some
Yeah.
stuff about the movie, and the teacher was eating pizza, and apparently he didn't tell him not to feed him after midnight, so he left the pizza crust there, and Stripe stole the pizza crust, and then he got out, and then he jumped in the pool in the school, and then they got released. And then, there's a Vietnam vet in the movie, and the Vietnam vet's like, there's little gremlins all over the place, and everybody's like, you're just a drunk. And then the gremlins like driving the tractor down the street, and he's like, I told you so. And then they're at the drive-in watching Snow White, and they're like behind the screen doing the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs there too. Okay, but the one thing about the movie, and I think I've mentioned to you about this guy, the only person that really kills anybody in this movie is the mom. She's a badass.
Yep.
She throws a gremlin in the microwave. She throws gremlins in the blender. She's a badass in this movie. All right? No one talks about how the mom is a badass.
Yeah, well, we don't get the backstory where she actually survived the entire, all three movies of Evil Dead. And then she retired to this small town to raise a family, and
Right.
that's how she's so good at this.
She was in the Vietnam War too. She was
Yeah,
special ops.
yeah. No, she flew helicopters in Vietnam, and she would land her helicopter in a full on firefight, jump out, and just mow down all the Viet Cong, and then throw these guys onto her helicopter, each one hand at a time, just throwing one after the other, and then she would jump back in and fly them out. Yeah, no, that was the mom from Gremlins.
Yeah, right. Um, yeah, so I don't even remember how this movie ended. But they got rid of all the gremlins. Do you remember how it ended? I don't even remember.
I mean, didn't they just basically kill them all? They lured them somewhere, and I don't remember if it was
Also,
electrocution
Gremlins
or
is a
what.
Christmas movie. Let's not forget that.
This one I will not let pass. It is not a Christmas movie.
It was done on
It's
Christmas. Santa Claus is
it's
in it.
it is borderline at best. Borderline. It is not a Christmas movie.
It was Gizmo was given as a Christmas present.
So it's a New Year's movie. I'll give you New Year's. I'm not giving you Christmas on Gremlins. I'm sorry. I can't.
It was done on Christmas. It was partly done on Christmas Day. It started on Christmas Day.
No. Not giving this one up.
Yes. Not only is Christmas Gremlins a Christmas movie, it's a holiday classic. According to Parade, it is.
Says
There's four
some guy
reasons
riding
according to
for
Parade.
parade.
There's four reasons according to Parade that it's a Christmas movie.
Can't wait to hear it.
Let me. Do they number it so I don't have to look for it?
Probably not.
Phoebe Cates is in it, who I used to love.
Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, they don't number it. I'm not gonna sit here and search through it, but I'm gonna count it as a Christmas movie because I do watch it on Christmas season.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their own wrong opinions. That just happens to be one of yours.